we should ask Elita, is there anything spooky in our forecast?
We've got some spooky storms headed our way for Halloween. Nothing too spooky about today's forecast, although not a treat this morning. If you're headed out, we've got some patches of fog here and there that could slow you down. Otherwise, we've got a nice mix of sun and clouds for today. Slim chance that you'll encounter a brief shower. I'll break it down with Future Track. Also, a look at those temperature readings, all coming up on the other side of the break.
You were saying, you know, as we deal with fog and bus stops, it can be dangerous.
Absolutely, especially as you get into that 7 to 8 a.m. Hour as we start to turn from darkness to a little bit of daylight. And that's kind of when the worst of the fog starts to settle in just before the sun actually helps to scour it out. So over the next couple of hours or so, we're going to be watching how this fog starts to develop. We're starting to see some of that fog over Fort Bend County starting to lift. We're already seeing some improvement in the visibility, but still pretty foggy down toward Bay City and Angleton, around the Tomball area. Out the door this morning, you can see around metro area, it's looking pretty clear at this hour with temperature readings in the upper 60s. It's down in the mid 70s around the Galveston area. We'll get some breaks in the clouds for today, but with some of those clouds, especially south and west of the Houston area, may accompany an isolated rain shower or two. We've got you down for a 10% chance for rain this afternoon, but it's a high likelihood that we're going to see mostly dry conditions with temperatures topping out somewhere into the upper 80s. Those rain chances will be going up to 30% on Wednesday, 60% chance on Thursday. I'm going to walk you through those storm chances with your Future Track coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Elita.
Of dry conditions, Elita, it's been more than a month now since we've had measurable rain.
Yeah, 34 straight days where we have not recorded rain. You know, this is not the record. 2023, we had 48 straight days. Unfortunately, the last time we saw rain was September 24th, and at Bush Airport, we recorded 0.2 of an inch of rain, trace amounts the following day. So you can imagine that's definitely going to take a toll on our grounds and how dry it is. Unfortunately, last week, you probably saw this last Friday, if you were tuning in, we gave you the latest drought report. And as of the latest drought, we now have severe drought that is spread across our far western counties. But we're hopeful here that we do get some rain this week. It just will not count for this week's drought report. It will count for the following one. So the first week of November, whatever falls on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll eventually see hopefully some improvements. But we're only anticipating maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches of rain if we're lucky with this next cold front. You can see the areas that are now under severe drought: Washington County, portions of Austin County up toward Navasota, Bryan College Station, Caldwell. This is the next storm system, our next cold front that's going to draw in the showers and the thunderstorms across the state. Now, it could also pose a threat for some strong severe thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms. Right now, the primary threats would be some damaging winds, maybe some hail. The highest threat, a level 2 out of 5, will be located over the northern parts of our state up toward Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. But we're right around the southern fringes here. So I just want to put our friends in the northwest side of town on notice that a couple of these cells coming in Wednesday afternoon, even early Wednesday night, could contain some damaging winds. As far as the flood risk potential, as that frontal boundary makes its way from the central parts of our state and then begins to slowly move and then stall out somewhere across parts of our region, that will be the focus point of some heavier bands of rain that could lead to some isolated street flooding. Obviously, on our side is the fact that the grounds are so dry, so it's going to take quite a bit of rain moving across the area to set the stage for any sort of ponding or street flooding concerns. But there will be a couple of spots that may be dealing with those flooded streets or isolated ponding because of the heavier bands of rain moving through. So let me walk you through what Future Track is saying. This is some of our high resolution model taking us through Wednesday afternoon. There's those individual pockets of heavy rains, maybe even some strong thunderstorms moving through the area. And then as we get into the overnight hours, Thursday morning, that scattered showers and thunderstorms coverage turns into more widespread with some heavy bands of rain coming through the Austin area, down along the coastline. And then as that frontal boundary starts to lift further to the north, it's going to take more of that moisture northward. But right now, the signs is that most of the day looks to be very active. But as we get closer toward the evening, as the sun starts to set, a lot of that rain starts to dry out. So I'm hopeful hopeful that even though most of the afternoon during the daytime hours could be on the soggy side, by the time it gets to, okay, let's go out, trick or treat, the skies will be drying out. The roads could still be wet, but at least the conditions look to improve for trick or treaters. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's hope that's what the computer models continue to trend. Now, over the next 5 days, you can see rainfall amounts not looking too bad, anywhere between a ½ inch to an inch, maybe even a couple spots up to 2 inches. Out the door this morning, we're talking mostly clear start to the morning. Those temperature readings this morning are off to a mild start. We've got temperature readings that we've been tracking somewhere in the 60s and lower 70s along the coastline. And of course, there's a potential for some fog that we'll continue to monitor. Now, even though it is a milder start to the morning, we've got some very warm afternoon highs in the upper 80s to low 90s today, mainly just shy of hitting the 90-degree mark. But if we hit that 90-degree mark, it will be tying a record. For today, the fog will lift mid to late morning, and then during the afternoon, we'll be tracking a few light rain showers. Today and tomorrow, those rain shower chances at about 10%, and then really starting to blow up as we get into Thursday. That 60% chance of showers and storms will eventually diminish. By the weekend, we're drying out. But looking ahead to next week, we've penciled in a frontal boundary on next Tuesday, so Election Day, a 60% chance of showers and storms, but it'll be that front that should deliver a break from the hot weather, brings back some lower humidity along with some cooler conditions, guys.
All right, Elita, thank you very much.